Hello Design Cutters! Renee here with an Illustrator-based tutorial for an event that would be near and dear to all of our hearts, a creative group meetup. We'll create a clean layout that showcases the surprisingly fun nature of some of the more corporate-style fonts from this week's bundle. Follow along by downloading the freebie pack at designcuts.com. Open Illustrator and go to File, New. Name your file, then enter a width of 18 inches and a height of 24 inches. Under bleed, make sure the link icon on the far right is selected and enter a top bleed of 0.125 inches. In the Layers palette, double-click the name of the layer and change it to Background. As I played around with branding with Type's stretch font, it kept reminding me of simple representations of number 2 pencils. With that image swirling around my noggin, I decided to use pencil colors for our meetup poster. Select the Rectangle tool, then click on the foreground color swatch at the bottom of your toolbar. Enter CMYK values of 15, 90, 60, 0, and press OK. Open the Swatches palette and click the new swatch icon. Name the swatch Eraser Pink and click OK. Click once on the artboard. Enter a width of 18.25 inches, 18 inches wide plus 0.125 inches bleed on each side, and then enter a height of 24.25 inches and click OK. To center the rectangle on the artboard, open your Align palette. Make sure you're set to Align to Artboard, and under Align Objects, select the icon for Horizontal Align Center and Vertical Align Center. Open the Layers palette and click the space between the eye icon and the layer name. We'll add to this layer as we get closer to finishing our design, but for now, it'll be easier if it's locked. Click the Create New Layer icon, double-click the layer name and change it to Content. Select your Type tool and click once on the artboard. Type the ultimate creative meetup for aspiring designers. Open your Character palette and select the font BW Mitka Bold at 45 point. Change the kerning to optical. This will create a more pleasing visual space between our letters. In the Swatches palette, select the white color. And I'm going to go ahead and correct my typo. We'll position this line of copy at the top of the artboard and at a bit of an angle. Open your Transform palette. Next to Rotate, enter 8 degrees, then use your selection tool to drag the copy to the top of the poster. Now we'll create a different background for this line of copy. Select your Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle that reaches all the way across the poster and is tall enough to house the text we just created. My rectangle is 20 inches wide and 1.6 inches tall. Click on your foreground color swatch and enter CMYK values of 0, 50, 100, 0. In the Swatches palette, click the new swatch icon and name it Pencil Yellow, then click OK. In your Transform palette, enter a rotation of 8 degrees, then use your selection tool to drag the rectangle up to the copy area. To arrange it behind the copy, press Command left bracket. Now select your Type tool and click once on the artboard. Type Creative. Switch over to your selection tool so the entire chunk of copy is active. In the Swatches palette, choose white for the color. Open your Character palette and change the font to Tuesday Script Regular at 280 point. And we'll need to change our kerning back to auto. We'll add a bit of decoration to the end of this word. Select your Type tool and click once after the last E. Open your Glyphs palette. Scroll down to the very bottom and double-click one of the decorative swashes to add it to the end of the word. Use your selection tool to position the word just below the orange bar so that the top of the T in creative points to the last half of the word creative in the orange bar. Now select your type tool and click once on the artboard and type League in all caps. In the character palette, change the font to BW Modelica Black at 270 point. Change the kerning to optical and set the color to white. Position the word just below Creative and aligned with the left side of it. Now we'll clean up the spacing between individual letters just a bit. Use your Type tool to select the first E in League. In your character palette, change the tracking to 20. Now select the U and change the tracking to -40. Next, we'll go ahead and add our important footer information. This will give us a better sense of space when we're laying out the info in between the title and footer later. Select your Type tool and click once on the bottom of the artboard. I'm going to go ahead and reduce my font size so I don't run too far off the artboard. Type for tickets, comma, call +44 space 20 space 7946 space 0267 or visit designcuts.com. Press enter to go to the next line, then type "Want to showcase your work? Join our call for art. Details at designcuts.com." In the swatches palette, make your foreground color white. In the character palette, choose the font Ridley Grotesque Regular at 22 point. Then open your paragraph palette and set it to Align Center. Use your Type tool to select the top line of the copy. In the Swatches palette, choose Pencil Yellow. In the Character palette, change the font to Cardia Thick and set the size to 28 point. Click on the arrow at the top right of the character palette and in the flyout menu, choose all caps. Lastly, for this bit of copy, switch to your main selection tool. Position the bottom of the footer about a ½ inch from the bottom of the artboard, then open your Align palette and click the horizontal Align Center icon. Now let's get our pencils in here so our color scheme makes a little more sense. Select your Type tool and type in all caps, Live Music, Art, Dance, and Design. In your Swatches palette, change the color to white. Then open your Character palette and change the font to BW Stretch Regular and the size to 50 point. To access the stylistic alternates, open your OpenType palette. To access any type related to palettes, go to Window, Type. We want to be choosy about which characters we alternate, or it'll start to look overdone. Use your Type tool to select the first E in Live. And in the OpenType palette, click the icon for Stylistic Alternates. Now we'll just repeat the same process for the C in Music, the A in Art, the D in Dance, and both the E and G in Design. We'll turn this line of copy into a pencil with just a few extra lines and shapes. First, let's create the front of our pencil. Use your Type tool to select either of the stretched E's. Press Command-C to copy. Click once at the beginning of the copy, before Live, and press Command-V to paste. Then press the spacebar twice so the E doesn't look like it's part of the word Live. Now I'll show you a really simple way to create an isosceles triangle. Select your Rectangle tool. Hold Shift to maintain aspect ratio and draw a square on the artboard. Any size is fine, since we'll scale it later, but mine is about 1½ inches square. Grab your selection tool, hover over any of the corners until you see the curved double-sided arrow. Hold Shift and rotate to the right 45 degrees. Select your pen tool and click once on the point at the bottom of the diamond to delete it, leaving us with an equilateral triangle. Grab your direct select tool and select the top middle point of the triangle. Hold Shift and press your up arrow several times to increase the height of the triangle. To create our pencil lead point, select the ellipse tool. Hold Shift and draw a circle that overlaps the tip of the triangle, about 4 inches in diameter. Position so it's a little off center from the triangle. Use your selection tool and select the triangle. Press Command C to copy, then press Command F to paste in place. With the copy still selected, hold Shift and select the circle. Now that we have both the copied triangle and circle selected, open your Pathfinder palette and select the icon for intersect. Select your original triangle. Just above the foreground color swatch at the bottom of the toolbar, you'll see a curved double-sided arrow. Click it to swap the fill and stroke colors. In this case, our triangle will now have no fill and a white stroke. Use your selection tool to select both the triangle and the pencil tip. Hold Shift and use the corner handle to rotate 90 degrees. Then use the corner handles to scale down until they fit at the beginning of the stretched E on our last line of copy. Open your stroke palette and increase the weight to 3 point. Then use your selection tool to drag across the pencil tip, triangle, and copy. Press Command G to group them all together. For one last bit of fun decoration on the pencil, we'll add the pencil yellow background behind it. Select your pen tool. We're going to intentionally keep this rough, so don't worry if things aren't lined up perfectly. Click once a little to the left of the pencil tip to create our first point. Next, click just above the spot where the copy begins, then above the end of the copy, below the end of the copy, below the spot where the copy begins, then click again on the first point to close the path. In your swatches palette, change the stroke color to none and the fill color to pencil yellow. Then press Command left bracket to send the shape behind the pencil group. Select both the shape and the pencil group and press Command G to group. Open your transform palette and enter a rotation of -16 degrees. Then position the group on the right side of the artboard, leaving a generous amount of space between it and the event title. Now we'll create a second pencil. Grab your type tool, click once on the artboard and type Learn, Create, and Be Inspired in all caps. The font should already be BW Stretch Regular at 50 point with stylistic alternates turned on. So we'll go through and turn some of the alternates off. Open your OpenType palette. Use your type tool to select the A in Learn. Then click the stylistic alternates icon to turn it off. Repeat for the ATE in the last half of Create, the E in B, and the D in Inspired. Pick your selection tool, then change the foreground color to white in the swatches palette. Use your type tool to select the stretched E in Learn and press Command C to copy. Place your cursor at the end of the sentence, press the spacebar twice, then press Command V to paste the E. This time we can copy the pointed pencil end we've already created. Use your group selection tool, the white arrow with a plus sign, to select the lead tip and triangle from the first pencil. Press Command C to copy, then Command V to paste. With your main selection tool, use the corner handles to rotate the pencil end to the right and position at the end of our most recent sentence. Once you're in place, select all three pieces and press Command G to group. Select your pen tool and repeat the process of outlining the copy with a pencil yellow shape. When you're done, press Command left bracket to send the shape behind the copy. Alternatively, you could copy and reposition the shape we drew for the first pencil, but I want them both to look slightly different. Select the most recent pencil group and the newest shape, then press Command-G to group. In your Transform palette, enter a rotation of 10 degrees. Position the pencil on the left side of the artboard, about midway between the first pencil and the footer. Now use your Type tool to click once on the artboard below the event title and type June 15th through 16th, 2016, 4 spaces, then just 15 pounds per ticket. We use the extra space to add an ornament after we format our copy. Change the color to pencil yellow, and in your character palette, change the font to Odudo Soft Regular at 54 point. Change the kerning to optical and the tracking to 75. Use your Align palette to horizontal align center below the event title. Now navigate to the Phenotype Freebie folder and open HMS Gilbert Star. Use your Selection tool to select the star and press Command-C to copy, then close the star file. In the main poster layout, press Command-V to paste. In the Swatches palette, change the fill color to pencil yellow. Hold Shift and use the corner handles to reduce the size until it fits comfortably in the space between the date and ticket info. If you've purchased the font bundle, the star is a lowercase g in HMS Gilbert Ornaments. With your Type tool, click once on the artboard toward the left side between the 2 pencils. Type Day 1, the inspiration, then a line break, soak up the creative vibe in an art showcase, another line break, Day 2, the nitty-gritty, line break, the ins and outs of software and client success. Change the fill color to white and the font to TT Slabs Condensed Regular at 30 point. In your paragraph palette, change to Align Left. Use your Type tool to select the top line. Change the color to pencil yellow and the font to Ink Bandit Sans Regular at 50 point. And we'll need to change our tracking back to 0. Use your Type tool to select the Day 2 line, then use your eyedropper tool in the toolbar and sample the Day 1 line to copy the formatting. Now we'll adjust our vertical spacing. With the Day 2 line still selected, change the leading to 94 point. You can either do this in the character palette or by holding the Option key and pressing the down arrow several times. I see now that we need to reset tracking to 0 on our subcopy and turn off all caps. Next, select your Ellipse tool. Click once on the artboard, and in the pop-up dialog box, enter a width and height of 5.4 inches. Position in the bottom right corner of the artboard, just covering the top of the lowest pencil. Click on the color swatch at the bottom of the toolbar and enter a CMYK value of 40, 100, 85, 30. Press Command left bracket several times until the circle falls behind the pencil. Now select your Type tool and click in the circle, and type Learn From, a line break, World Famous, another line break, Design Gurus. Change the fill color to white and the font to Ink Bandit Sans at 55 point. In the paragraph palette, choose Align Center. Then position the copy in the middle of the circle. We're going to substitute the word From with a catchword from the Ink Bandit's Extras file. Navigate to the Make Media Company folder in the Freebies files and open Ink Bandit's From. Select the catchword and press Command-C to copy, then close the file. In the main poster layout, press Command-V to paste. If you've purchased the font bundle, the catchword is a capital M in the Ink Bandit's Extras font. To make a spot for our catchword, we'll hide the current From. Use your Type tool to select the word From in the text. Select your eyedropper tool in the toolbar and use it to sample the red color of the circle. Use your Selection tool to select the catchword. Change the fill color to white, then hold Shift and use the corner handles to reduce the scale until it's about the same size as the text in the red circle. Position over the blank area. Now we'll frame our words with a couple of simple lines. Select your Pen tool. Click once above the L in Learn, then hold Shift and click again above the M in the From catchword. Open your Swatches palette and change the fill color to None, and click on the stroke icon in the top left of the palette. Enter CMYK values of 15, 90, 60, 5. Back in the Swatches palette, click the new swatch icon and name the color Dark Pink. Open your Stroke palette and increase the weight to 4 point, and next to Profile, choose Width Profile 1. Select your main Selection tool. Hold Shift plus Option and drag down on the line to create a copy. Drag the copy below the text. In the Layers palette, create a new layer and name it Decoration. Drag the layer between the content and background layers. Use your Selection tool while holding Shift to select both parts of the title. Then press Command-C to copy. Lock the content layer by clicking on the space between the eye icon and the layer name in the Layers palette. Select the Decoration layer and press Command-F to paste in place. In your Swatches palette, change the fill color to dark pink. Our copied text is still hidden behind the original, so you won't see anything just yet. With both pieces of the title still selected, hold Shift and press the left arrow key and down arrow key on your keyboard. Grab your Type tool and select just the ornamental swash at the end of the creative. Open the Glyphs palette and select a slightly different swash. Now we'll give our pencil some subtle background scribbles. In the Freebies folders, find Phenotype's HMS Gilbert Lightning Bolt and all 3 shapes from Set Sail Studios' Crystal Sky Doodle Pack. Open each file and copy the vector freebie by selecting it and pressing Command-C, then pasting it into the main poster layout using Command-V. After pasting them in, select all 4 vectors and change their fill color to dark pink. I'm going to randomly size and rotate each so that they form a bit of an explosive shape off the end of the top pencil. In the Layers palette, unlock the Content layer. Use your Group Selection tool while holding Shift to select the yellow pencil shapes. Press Command-C to copy, then lock the Content layer. Select the Decoration layer and press Command-F to paste in place. In the Swatches palette, change the fill color to dark pink. Now hold Shift and press the down arrow on your keyboard, then the left arrow. To make the shadow look a little better on the top pencil, we'll bring the tip of the shadow together with the tip of the original pencil. Select your Direct Selection tool. Click once on the point at the sharp end of the pencil shadow, then drag the point to the same spot that the sharp point of the pencil ends. Select your Type tool and click once on the artboard. Type Learn. Change the fill color to dark pink and the font to Blush Regular at 655 point. Make sure your kerning is set to auto. In the Transform palette, enter a rotation of -12 degrees. Then position the word so the end of the word sits just above the top pencil. Use your Selection tool and hold Option, then click on Learn and drag down to copy it. Use your Type tool to select the copy and replace Learn with Create. In the Transform palette, enter a rotation of 22 degrees. I'm also going to reduce the font size in the Character palette to 555 point so we can see the entire word. Then we'll position it just above the bottom pencil. Now select your Type tool and click once on the artboard and type Inspire. Select your eyedropper tool and sample the word Create to copy the format. Open your Character palette and reduce the font size to 455 point, then position at the bottom of the artboard, just skimming the top of the footer. And we're done! We have a clean, type-based poster ready for a creative group meetup. Whether it's your outcome for this tutorial or something new, head over to our Facebook page and share it with us. Let us know what you think in the comments below and give us a thumbs up if you like the tutorial. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/designcuts to get more video tutorials and regular updates, or visit us at designcuts.com. Thanks for watching. Till next time!